Satanic Panic. So with the new season of Stranger Things that came out, there's a whole subplot of D&D being a way to worship Satan or whatever. One of the members of their D&D group is accused of being a murderer just because he's a weirdo who likes tabletop role-playing games. For anyone who lived through the 80s and played tabletop role-playing games, or I guess anyone who played them with super religious parents, was it really that bad?
I see, this is one of those things. I've talked to a lot of, like, boomers, although they really hate it whenever I call them boomers. Like, I'm Gen X. It's like...
Okay.
okay. You need to remember, if you're older, you're a boomer. If you're younger, you're a zoomer. And that's how it goes. That's just how it is. I don't make up the rules, guys. But, honestly, all the Americans that I've spoken to that are, like, in their, like, 40s and 50s, all say it was really bad. They all 100% say it genuinely was. And I just have a really hard time imagining that to be true.
I know.
I just have a really hard time, but then again, we're living through a different panic at the minute. The will be the racist panic.
So
I suppose
everybody's a racist and a fascist.
Yeah. So maybe it's not that far to the realm of possibilities.
Yeah,
like we're experiencing it right now. Do you really think it was that much different back then?
Yeah.
You know. But let's jump into this thread, and if you have any of your own Satanic Panic stories, I would love to hear them. We have done threads like this before in the past, so if we had enough good ones, I might actually go back and check them ones, because a few people did share. Yeah. So if you let us know, maybe we could hear your guys' stories. I always love a tale of a good grognard.
Yeah. I wasn't that old in the 80s. But in the 90s, I had friends with acquaintances whose mother wouldn't let them watch anime because apparently it caused epilepsy.
I mean, like some of it...
episode.
yeah.
Remember?
Honestly, though, there is some, like, see all that flashing lights and stuff.
Yeah. There was also a fictional witch's handbook that had instructions for spells and ghost stories and such. Basically a young adult fantasy encyclopedia. This book was banned in all libraries, and I remember most adults being genuinely worried that it promoted Satanism. So from these personal experiences, the Satanic Panic presented in the show doesn't seem that far-fetched.
I actually got a book like this for Aussie. I saw it a while back.
Yeah.
It is like a mystical creatures encyclopedia. It's actually really cool. I would have loved it as a child.
I love it, and it goes like in depth of like each mystical creature. And
it's really cool. Honestly.
I can't wait to sit and like read it, and him being like, "Oh, where do we find these? Well, we can go to the forest tomorrow."
Yeah, let's go have it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But this sounds like the 80s version of was it the late 90s or early 2000s? Remember the Anarchist Cookbook? Do you remember that?
Oh yes.
This is what this sounds like.
Yes.
It sounds like everyone knows the Anarchist Cookbook it's gigger cringe and it's absolute LARP.
Yeah.
But it terrified so many people.
Yeah. My sister was obsessed with charms. She was one of those people. And she actually sat and she bought like a leather binder book.
Oh yeah.
She sat and wrote out all the spells from the big charm book, and she kept it under her bed. That was
gigger cringe, and she was older. Like it wasn't like she was.
No, she was like 17.
Well, absolute Wiccan.
And she was like, "No, I'm a Wiccan, guys." And she had like all these. She always had like crystal stuff, and I was like, "You're so weird. Why are you so weird?
Why are you like this? Please make it stop."
It wasn't just religious people in the 1980s. There were also psychologists going around that said that role-playing could induce schizophrenia into young kids because they spend too much time pretending to be someone else.
We're not all Christian, okay?
Yeah, but like, it's normal for kids to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah, a bit of make-believe, invisible friends, that
My cousin had a costume.
Yeah.
I can't remember what costume it was. It was from a TV show. I can't remember, but he was never out for a good 3 years. He thought he was this person.
Wow, what was he, like a Power Ranger or something?
I can't remember what it was. It was some weird cartoon.
I want to imagine he just dressed up as SpongeBob every day. Can we?
No, that was me.
So this one here was a comment replying to the previous post, but
it might induce schizophrenia. They said they might have a point.
Yeah.
Attention furries! B-Stars Roleplay Club. We need Juno, please. No Legoshi X Juno though. You're encouraged to wear your fursuits. Ears and tails will be supplied to those without fursuits. There will be snacks, fish, cat and dog food. Yum! No yiffing allowed!
I mean, at least these guys have standards.
Anyway, yeah. Anybody caught attempting to yiff will be permanently banned from the B-Stars Roleplay Club. Bring your own socks, please. Ow! Please don't remove poster. Why socks? Why do you need to bring socks?
I love the way this is in Comic Sans.
I know.
I love the Comic Sans. You know what? I will give them credit. At least they do have standards. So good on you, furries. I never thought I would actually say that, but good on yous for once.
An older friend of mine had all his D&D stuff thrown away by his dad because he thought it was all satanic stuff. I think that era had a bunch of wacky stuff. Serial killers in the spotlight, as well as a bunch of hack psychotherapists implanting false memories in their patients about being diddled by family members in satanic cults. D&D just caught up in it.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about any form of mind control.
Mind controlling.
I mean, I'd be open to talk about it. DM me, but I don't know how much I can talk about that on YouTube. I definitely do think the best way to hide information is the absolute subversion. The best way to hide information is to have it in plain sight and just muddy the water by making it look schizo.
I definitely don't drink the blood of children.
Yeah, what are you talking
Some
about?
Some people say I drink the blood of children.
Why would you say... Why
would you say that, Joe?
Why would you just turn around and say, people think I drink the blood of children? Who has ever said that? Okay, look, whatever, if it makes you feel better. Now, I've got this weird theory, so I do, on the goings-on in the world today, and I don't want you guys to... you can call me schizo all you want, I don't really care. But, hear me out and see if I've got a point. So I believe the rise in serial killers has to do with pornography. I believe it was the mass adoption of pornography, making it, so accessible in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's only the people on the outside that crack first. The people on the fringes crack first. And that's what I think we're seeing today with a lot of people that do a lot of crime in a spree, and they tend to do it in public places. I believe it's social media that's driving this, because... Yeah,
but those people who do them spree ones are completely different to serial killers, and serial killers are all psychological.
Well, okay, this is the bit that makes it more interesting.
No, I think serial killers are born and bred that way, and spree, can't say it, spree killers, or, you guys know what I'm right? Them type of ones, they're just indoctrinated from the internet.
Yeah, do you think
it's not that they were born and bred that way, it's literally just too much of the internet.
Do you think so?
And
I think,
too much of the internet, and because there's more and more of these spree killers, they think, I'm gonna be heard.
If I can't be famous, I will be infamous
type of thing. Where, we all know the philosophy of a serial killer. We know how they're brought up.
Well,
and the thing is, serial killers are not new.
Well,
they've been around for centuries.
What gets me about serial killers and mass spree criminals. What gets me is, serial killers, they commit their acts. And normally it's an act of violence, and I believe it's connected to sex. I think it's completely connected to sex. I would say minimum 90% of the time it's connected to sex.
Yeah.
In some weird way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to get caught all the time. They still wanted to go back to a normal life. Whereas with these new ones, they want to get caught. They want to get caught. They don't want to go back to their normal lives.
They want
it's like they've completely given up on anything and everything around them.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that? Is that weird? Is that out there? I definitely think there's a lot going on, and I feel like
I watched Mindhunter.
And I think that, the whole satanic stuff, I believe the whole Satanic Panic, I believe it's used as a way to divert attention from other things, or it's the best way to hide is to do it in plain sight, if that makes any weird sense. And you know what I mean? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's just keep going.
Hey guys, do you like models in your tabletop role-playing games? 'Cause we do too. Do you like having big bitty waifus on your table? 'Cause we do too. We got human biddies, we got lizard biddies, we got orc biddies, oni biddies, cat bussies. We've got everything you want at neckbeardia.co.uk.
Check the links down below, it helps us out a lot.
Sorry for interrupting the video, let's get on with the story. Every week we're going to be doing a giveaway of the new pin-up model of the month, or if models isn't your thing, all of our homebrew content. If you want to be in with a chance to win the giveaway, all you need to do is subscribe. That's it. Hit the subscribe button. That's it.
Do it now.
But last week's winner was this guy. Well done! Yay! Round of applause. Everybody stands up and claps. But enough of that. Let's get back to the video. In my case, they were right. Kind of. I became an unironic occultist pagan.
Cringe. What is it with paganism? I'm really attracted to paganism. I do think it's really interesting, ancestor worship and all that sort of stuff. But
it's really cringe, guys.
But the people that become pagans are giga cringe.
Yeah. The ironic part is that I live in a much healthier and moral life than any of the people who condemned my nerdy hobbies, especially the people at church. Now, our tabletop, card games, video, fantasy/sci-fi novels, and anime to blame for my interest in the occult, or my distaste for Abrahamic faiths. I'm not sure, to be completely honest. Maybe I always had an affinity for that stuff, and that's what made me interested in those nerdy hobbies. I remember resonating with pagan myths that I read at the library so much more than with the stories I read at Bible school when I was a kid. I always questioned why divination and magic were such big taboos at church, and never got a reasonable explanation. While I didn't live the 80s moral panic, I did get to experience the 90s and noughties version, and it was quite rough. My grandmother threw my Game Boy out of the car window. And shanked my Pikachu plushie. My dad burned my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. A church pastor called me names and locked me in a water tank. What? Empty but stinky on a weekly basis. What? I didn't get into tabletop games until I was a teenager and had much more freedom though. Funny part is that now it's the other side, the one demonizing these hobbies. It seems we can't catch a break.
That you know what that is? I don't even know if that's... You know the problem is, so this is my biggest problem that I've got with religion, is people that like religion as justification to be an absolute dickhead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think...
The people who always class themselves as Christian are the least Christian people. Because they hate... They condemn.
When it comes to religious people, I find they're either really cool and really dead on and like really chill about the whole thing, or they are absolutely insufferable
and horrendous.
And
if there are pearly gates, I'm telling you, you'll never meet them.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I get this a lot. See,
some of the nastiest, most vindictive people I know.
I hate the ones that are. I can't stand the middle-aged men ones that spend their whole lives being like horrible people, and then they find God when they're in their 50s, and then they go like hyper
religious.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's great if you find God. That's good for you, I'm sure. And you know the thing is, I'm sure religion helps so many people.
Oh,
I think it helps more than it hurts.
It's comforting for people.
I do think it helps.
I don't get it.
I think it helps more than it hurts, but there is definitely horrible examples. But again, there's horrible examples. Like, let's be serious, there's horrible examples of atheism. That's just
TJ.
Yeah. Well, you know the problem is that I've got with atheism is it doesn't achieve anything. All it does is take away faith. It doesn't replace it with anything else. And whether we like it or not, people need some guidance, or people need a framework to work off of. Like, you know, whether we like it or not, like I wouldn't consider myself a very religious human being, but my morals and my worldview is very heavily
at all.
Whether I like it or not, I live in a Christian country.
I'm not religious at all. Don't go to church. Don't believe in any of it. But I still follow basic Christian values because I live in the Western world, and you know, killing people is bad, guys.
Yeah, like,
and I'm not going to steal anything.
My moral judgment is very...
I did walk out of Tesco's the other day with a loaf of bread under the pram.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
There was another time I put, was it lamb chops?
Yeah, there was lamb
chops. Under the pram, and I got to the checkout and I forgot about it, and it came out and it was like, look, it's a massive superstore, it's not going to miss lamb chops. And with this economy... People ringing up Tesco's.
Megan from Neckbeardia stole some lamb chops.
It was before my time, but I do know that it was caused because of child trafficking rings that had nothing to do with D&D. Since the panic itself didn't uncover any child trafficking and focus entirely on culture, from a historical standpoint, I can only assume this meant the entire panic was a distraction to cover for the
Corpus Elite.
And a clever invitation for American Christians to make fools of themselves.
Yes, unironically, I don't see. This
I've
is
never heard of that.
Yeah, so
Now, I know back in the 80s, 90s, early 90s, it was
there was a lot of this.
Still is.
So there's a lot going on today still. Yeah. I don't know how much we're going to talk about this, about an island and spurred cooking and all this other stuff. See, this is the thing. This is a bit that gets me. At what point does it not matter if it's illegal or not? If these people are so interested in it, what they're up to, they're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if the magic's... This is what gets me. I think we live in a world now
We live in a society.
We live in a society, okay, guys? We live in a society. No, but we do. We live in a world where information is subjective. Facts are subjective. There is no reality anymore. There's no shared reality that we all live in.
Yeah, because everybody has their own news source.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's got their own news source.
Opinions, their own...
did you hear about X and Y that happened? It's like, yeah, I heard about that, but that's not what happened, man. Yeah. It's like, why? Source. It's like,
you know what's
you got from there.
The best example of this was COVID.
Yes.
The best example was everybody had their own opinion, what was going on, what was happening. Everybody had different news sources that were going to read.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
What I was the happiest with, I was talking to one of my mates about this the other week, and I said, because a lot of people would think I was schizo for years. Me and one of my friends, we've always been into, like, more of the conspiracy stuff, and, well, he's way worse than me.
He's really
bad. Like, some of the stuff he comes off with, it's like, he's like... I think I'm reasonable, alright? But what I love the most about the whole hoof and all that is, I want people to question their governments. I think that's the best thing that happened from all of it. It makes people more skeptical on what people are... Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait, do you mean the government would lie to me?
I think what you're getting force-fed.
Yeah.
What you're getting handed to you, because it's never the truth.
Yeah. Like, there's always an...
I think
people knew about
it before, but I think since COVID, people are believing it more and more now.
Oh yeah, look at the whole letter that comes beside P. The letter that comes beside P. Remember that whole movement? 2 more weeks, guys. Like, it was a little bit more clear, so it was, but 2 more weeks. But it opened the door. The anon. The anon and the letter.
I can't quick think like
quick
that.
Think. I need to use code words, guys.
I think A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Look, that's all see, this is what I really do believe misdirection is the biggest tool that they use in this day and age, and I think that they've been doing it for a very long time. This is one I like to think about. I'm a really big fan of nomadic steppe peoples, and how the Chinese dealt with these steppe peoples was they used they paid them a lot of them off, they would make them fight each other, they would use a lot of dirty tricks, a lot of subversion to keep the infighting, so because if they united, then they would come after China, and China doesn't want to fight them all together.
But if you kept the infighting going,
if you keep them occupied and let them fight each other, you know, and that's what I think is happening.
I was about to say something there, but I can't.
There's so much we can't talk about.
I was about to say something there that would have been a really funny joke, guys, but I can't.
Okay.
It was worse than you can imagine.
If only you knew how bad things really were.
It was worse than you can imagine if you didn't live through it in the South. Book burnings, forced prayer meetings, forced segregation into special ed. It was awful.
Wait, I mean, like, I know a lot of D&D players that belong in special ed, myself included.
It was awful. Once I was at my local game store playing Magic and reading comics. I was maybe 13. I go outside for a smoke, and bam, there's my ultra-conservative father. Duck it out. I'm so worried about the smoke, I don't even think that he's come to be a prayer warrior and rebuke his house of Satan. In the middle of the day, in front of all of my friends, I was so embarrassed, I never went back. For most of my teenage years after, I would just seclude myself from everything because of it. But that's how I found Prodigy. Then AOL, then Yahoo, and all the perks of the internet life.
Yeah, that's just sad, if I be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what this is? This is... I can't help but feel like this is more just bad parenting than anything else.
It is. You're that feared of they're that feared of their child.
Can you not just sit down and talk to them?
Having different opinions than them.
It's not even different opinions. It's like they just can't understand.
There's no communication.
It's what it is to me is they've just got.
In case you didn't know, guys, me and James are like professional parents.
Yeah, professional.
Apparently we have a 10-month-old and we're like, we know the rules.
But I think I know which way I want
to approach certain things,
because you know what happened to me, like for me personally, like my mom would overreact to everything.
Still does.
She still does, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would just not go there for anything.
Because you know what way
I just know what way she's gonna be. Like, so if you just be a bit more calm, cool, and collected, and be like, right, okay, how are we gonna work around this problem? Because everyone gets into difficulties sometimes.
The biggest thing
is
communication.
Yeah.
With your child. Some parents it's almost like they're scared to talk to their fucking kid.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it is.
Swearing. It's the end of the video.
It's near the end. We don't need to worry so much near the end. But yeah, like, this is what it really comes down to. And I think this is what our channel is all about, is communication. And it's a breakdown of communication.
Yeah.
And this is something that I think, like, I myself have been trying to work on for years. I've never been very good at it. And I hope it helps for you guys as well, you know, because I think that's really what it comes down to. We are social animals, and it's not easy to be a social animal and not be very good at being social.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
And I think that's really what it really comes down to, in my eyes. But yeah, no, this is just horrible. It's just really bad parenting at its finest, you know. And it's one thing letting your child be absolutely mental, but you also need to be able to lean them in, but also be able to... The last thing you want is them to not trust you and not come to you in a situation that would really benefit an awful lot if you were working with them. You know, this is what gets me as well. This is a big thing I think a lot of people have with arguments as well. People get into arguments and they think, oh, just because I'm going to be able to shout the loudest means I'm going to be able to get my point across.
Yeah.
An argument's not about that. It's trying to get your points across and getting people to actually understand
understand you. Yeah.
Exactly, and this is what I think what it's all about. It's understanding.
And this is why me and you don't shout.
Yeah, no.
We're able to talk about what's upset us.
Yeah, like, you need to talk. You have to. If you can't do that, it's not going to work out.
There's no point. It's childish to shout.
It is.
It's
really
childish to get into screaming matches, because that's what you do whenever you're 3 years old and can't control your emotions.
Don't get me wrong. It's very easy to do that.
It's very easy to do it,
but it's something that I think, like, you know, honestly, it's... You have to overcome. It's overcoming in the animal inside you, isn't it? We've perfected speech pretty well at this point.
You haven't.
Yeah, I haven't. But, you know... Anyway, like, I think that's where we're going to end, because I think I'm more rambling than anything. Let us know what your thoughts are. Did you have any Satanic Panic stories? Did it happen to you? I feel like we're living through a racist panic, so the idea of a Satanic Panic... a Satanic Panic doesn't sound different or out there in the slightest to me. At all. It just sounds, well, yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah. Well, let us know your thoughts down below.
He knew that the fundamentalist Christians would probably be better than the SJWs. I actually kind of miss them. I actually miss the fundamentalists.
Hello,
the crazy
darkness, my old friend. But let us know your thoughts and opinions down below, and while you're down there, check out the links to the website, the models, the subclasses, all that good shit.
It does help us out a lot.
And hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!